The Silver Echo. Journey of the 1967 one-dime coin, a coin born from change in the quiet corridors of the Philadelphia Mint. Machine hummed with rhythmic precision. This was the year 1967, and America was changing. It's not just in politics, music, or civil rights, but in the coins that clinked in. United States Mint, founded in 1792, had seen centuries pass, wars fought, presidents rise and fall. But in the mid-1960s, a crisis emerged not from war, but from metal. It's a silver shortage by 1964. The U.S. government faced a serious dilemma. Silver was becoming too expensive. People were hoarding silver coins, especially dimes, quarters, and half-dollars, melting them down for profit. President Lyndon B. Johnson made a bold decision. He ordered that starting from 1965, dimes and quarters would no longer be made of silver, but from a clad composition, copper sandwiched between two layers of nickel. The 1967 one dime is born in 1967. The Roosevelt dime, named after President Franklin D. Roosevelt, was produced without a mint mark. Usually coins have letters like P, D, or S to show where they were minted. But for coins made between 1965 and 1967, there were no mint marks. This was to prevent people from hoarding specific types, thinking they might become rare. What's in a dime? The 1967 dime looked just like its predecessors, but its soul was different. Composition: 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel weight, 2.27 grams. Diameter: 17.91 millimeters. Designer: John Arsenac. Mintage: over 2.2 billion pieces. Even though it had no silver, still carried history, design, and purpose. A coin's journey across time. From soldiers in Vietnam to children buying candy, the 1967 dime passed through millions of hands, paid for payphones, jukebox songs, and bubblegum. Even decades later, collectors began to wonder, was there anything special about these no-mint mark coins? Some 1967 dimes were struck with small errors off-center printing, doubled letters, or smooth edges. These became valuable to collectors. What is the value today? In everyday use, a 1967 dime is still just 10 cents in America. But in the collector's world, value changes. Regular 1967 dime, worth 10 cents with minting errors. $3 million to $10 million plus, depending on condition. In pristine, uncirculated condition, up to $20 million in rare cases on international markets. Collectors in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East trade it for between $2 to $50 United States dollars, depending on rarity and flaw. The symbolism of a dime more than its metal or market price. The 1967 dime became a symbol of America adapting to change. It stood for survival, shifting from silver to practicality, from tradition to necessity. And in that small, round coin lay a powerful message. Even the tiniest things carry the weight of history. A coin in a soldier's pocket in 1968. A young soldier named Raymond Keller crouched in the mud of Vietnam waiting for morning. In his pocket he carried two things: a photo of his mother and a 1967 Roosevelt dime. He used it once to buy a cola at a tiny outpost, and once more to scratch the rust off his rifle bolt. But mostly he just held it, turning it in his fingers when the world grew too loud. It reminded me of home, he would later say. It wasn't about the money. It was about something small and solid in a place that felt like it was falling apart. The coin collector's dream. In modern times, collectors like Sandra Liu from Hong Kong look for rare 1967 dimes. They use magnifying glasses and catalogs, scanning online auctions and estate sales. Sandra once bought a 1967 dime with a doubled die error for $5 million USD. The legacy of the 1967 dime, the 1967 Roosevelt dime, doesn't shine like silver. It doesn't rattle like gold, but it survived through war, inflation, technology, and changing times. It reminds Americans that even when times are tough, the nation adapts. It reminds coin lovers that even a small, humble coin can carry stories of transition, courage, and resilience. Today, the United States Mint still produces dimes with Roosevelt's profile. But collectors often whisper of the silverless years and the silent strength of the 1967 coin. The dime in your palm. So if you ever find a 1967 dime, hold it a moment longer. Not because it's valuable, it's not because it's shiny, but because it once stood at the crossroads of economy and emotion, history and hope. And maybe, just maybe, that tiny coin will whisper back a story of its own.